Matthew Archambault here for Drawing Tutorials Online. This video tutorial is going to be all about compositional shapes. Now, what are compositional shapes? I've got a few lined up for you right up top over here. A compositional shape is used to group a bunch of items together to simplify the way that your image looks, and you can use light and shade to group them together. That's one tool. You don't have to use light and shade. But I've got a few generic ones up top over here, and this is what I usually teach to all my students at SVA. Basically, when you're faced with a blank white sheet of paper and you've got to do like a job for a client, this is also a great tool to give you like a launching pad to face that blank piece of paper. So now, one shape could be an oval. One shape could be a triangle, one shape could be an L shape, another compositional shape could be a diagonal. And then, how you want to do these compositional shapes is you want to block in some tone. Now, you can do it 2 value or you can do it 3 value. That's totally your call. So they're not always going to be so specific like this. Most of the time they're going to be highly abstract and very organic. So maybe I'm going to divide my image into 2 shapes. And another way of thinking about these compositional shapes is what I'm going to do next. It could also be a positive and a negative shape. All right, so let's say I wanted to do like a landscape, all right, and I want to have it really bold. I don't want it to be patchy. I want it to stand out. Maybe I'm going to decide on using a compositional shape like this. So now what am I talking about? So let's say I was going to draw some trees. All right, so let me just kind of get them in a little bit more loosely for you, and then I'll start to kind of chisel them out as I go. Maybe there's like a grouping of like leaves right over there. Maybe I've got like a thick tree trunk and the wind is blowing the tree trunk and it's kind of blowing up this way. Maybe I've got like another tree trunk right over here. Okay, and that's kind of going off towards the corner of my image. I'll add like a little bit more foliage. Maybe there's like a little foliage down over here. And I'm going to loop up some more foliage, some small like ground bushes. And let me just kind of add some more leaves, groupings of like leaves. So right now, that is a line drawing of a landscape, and it's not finished. It's kind of primitive. You don't quite not know where to look. So let's say now I was going to start to shade it. So maybe I want to put like a little dark leaf over here, maybe some dark leaves. Maybe I want to put some texture like on my tree trunks, and maybe I was going to have some like strands of grass. I was going to have like some clouds in the sky, and maybe I've got like distant like rolling hills in the background. So right now, I mean, it's still kind of working as like a little mini compositional shape because the way that I'm grouping all this line together, it's kind of creating the optical illusion of tone, but not really. But right now, this looks really patchy. All right, it doesn't look like it could be a powerful image. So now, how are we going to make it more powerful? We're going to try to utilize this model of the compositional shape. So now, maybe what I would do next is I would start to employ like some tone. So I'm going to put some like tone and have these, make the decision, like you as the artist have to make a decision where you're going to have your lights and your darks. So I'm going to make the decision that I want the leaves of these trees to be like a really dark green. Okay, and then I want the top of the tree trunks to kind of be like a dark tone. And then I'm going to continue with my foliage, my leaves over here. Foliage just sounds like such a funny word. And some of these leaves are going to cast a shadow on my tree trunk. I'm going to have some negative space in between the branches, the tree trunks, and the leaves. And maybe now this is where my ground is going to start. So let's see, let me not lose my place over here. So I want to keep some clean light. And this tree trunk over here, I want to keep that clean light. So now I'll start to add my ground. And maybe there's like another skinny like little tree trunk that breaks that plane. So I'm trying to keep in sync with that compositional shape that I decided upon to the left. I don't want to destroy that. I want to have it somewhat look like that. Now the key is that when you do the compositional shape, like the ones that I have over there and that one, some people when they do this in class, like they'll try to fit everything into that compositional shape, and that's not how you do it. Like you're gonna have like your most important thing break the compositional shape, and I will show you that in the next tutorial. But for now, I just want to show you how I would do a very primitive one. So this is so far 2 values, okay, and my compositional shape line that I have over here, I don't want to do this too dark, is kind of going like that.